welcome to episode 280 of the Flow Wrestling Live Radio Show with the host, CP Piles, Christian Piles, Kyle Bradgate, to my right, Andrew Spade, and the one and only, the Jamaican sensation, making a triumphant return to the show after a long hiatus, Sion Williams.
Oh, baby. That was money. So we practiced that a couple times. My favorite was when he accidentally called me CP Schlater. That was pretty awesome.
I don't know. I was watching some podcast the other day, and the name popped in my head.
CP came up. Okay, that's cool. He was, he was a monster.
He was pretty good.
He's like a nurse now or something.
He's something in Entertainment Tonight or some podcast, I believe.
Entertainment Tonight. It was probably Entertainment Tonight.
Or something like that.
You're thinking of Mario Lopez.
He was CP Slater.
That was AC Slater. He thought I was Mario Lopez, so he called me.
I just screwed up the name.
He
Common
thought
mistake.
I was AC Slater, so he called me CP Schlater. That is unbelievable. That's a compliment. Oh, I'll take it. Preppy. Okay. All right. So obviously, we're like 1 minute in. And already, we've set the tone for the show. Sion's here. Willie is at Flow Nationals. Lobdell is en route to Flow Nationals. So we went hard here. We've got Spay and Sion. Sion, he brought enough Slim Jims for the class to share. And we've got plenty to get into. One, a DeSanto update. The young man on his way to Iowa. He will be there very soon for his visit.
Oh.
So that's pretty interesting. So he will be there during the World Cup, I guess. That'd be pretty fun.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if he watches or has ever wrestled freestyle, but I'm sure he'll be interested in that. Now, Sion, you're buds with Coach Azevedo. I don't know. You rarely divulge any information, but I'm interested for your take on this whole DeSanto situation.
Well, I know for a fact that Azevedo, put his heart and soul into helping the kid, and I guess people are young, so they change their mind all the time. So it sucks for the Drexel program because it could have been their first national champ. But
yeah, he definitely has the talent.
Just giving up on your team, I'm not a fan of that. But like I said, young people, they're growing. They're changing their minds. They're trying to find their place in the world. So it happens.
I appreciate you not judging him, considering you wanted to go to Iowa and you ended up at Iowa State and you went there. So really, you were kind of
things happen for a reason. I don't think I would have been happy at Iowa. I don't think I would have fit in there.
Yeah, you never know.
Now I just don't like him.
Now you just don't like him. But you met Tony. You've met so many Hawkeyes that you now have to like.
I don't have to like them.
But you do like them.
I guess they're all right.
You like that?
I guess once you get them out of that pit, they're not that bad.
Pit. Wow, what a hater.
Once you get them out of that pit, they got a good personality.
Okay.
They stop sponging from that, I don't know, mentality.
Sponging. Okay. Update. Next Tuesday, Kyle Snyder, he won the Olympics, is going to come on the show and talk with us about his deal with the Rudis. Very cool stuff. Kyle reached out, wants to talk about it. There's a lot of questions about it. I'm excited to hear what he has to say, and can't wait for that. He's going to beat some foreigners down this weekend at the World Cup, and then he'll be on here Tuesday. So
pretty awesome.
It's pretty sweet. It's gonna be good. So we'll learn about that. A little additional information. Some guys on the transfer market you may or may not know. Mason Smith of Central Michigan, Gary Wayne Harding, Oklahoma State, and Devin Skatska of Indiana. All those guys apparently have releases or are looking for transfers. So keep an eye out for them. Mason Smith, a very interesting prospect for CMU. Had a nice year this year. Yeah.
Big game Gary Wayne, though. Sentimental favorite. Like to see those Oklahoma State guys get off the bench and find somewhere else. Eli Hale transferred to Central Oklahoma in the middle of the season. Just impressive stuff, how much talent is just in Stillwater. So, and big game Gary Wayne, like I said, sentimental favorite. Saw him at Reno.
He'd probably end up over at Oklahoma.
Oh, you think?
Who knows?
Who knows?
You know, them Oklahoma boys right, always try to stay within the state.
What if you went to Iowa State?
Yeah, what if he's a Cyclone?
They could use a lot of help in a lot of weight classes.
Okay.
He almost beat Earl Hall once.
He'll be going there, but he'll be in the same situation because those are the same weight classes they're good at.
Would he have?
Hey, you know, your guy Puppy Simmons is gone.
Yeah, I heard Puppy Simmons. You know, I heard he's transferring out along with Bryson Bach, something.
my God.
Sorry, I can't even pronounce his name.
You got
Favorite
Breitenbach?
team?
Well, yeah, something like that.
Can you try again?
No, that's all right.
You basically had it.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I guess, you know, so by the end of next season, it'll be a whole new Iowa State roster. It'll be a full turnover.
Yeah. Yep. So Space here.
Hey, guys.
Spay intentionally infuriated Hawkeye Nation
Oh, yeah, that's all part of the master plan.
with with the pound for pound ranking of Spencer Lee. And yeah, I think it's good that you're on here. I'd just like to give you the floor and let you maybe opine a little bit.
All right, sure. Before we begin, just one quick question. What radio station is this going to be on? Before we start, I want to tell my parents so they can tune in and watch. And then we can get going and start the whole show and everything.
98.6 The Rock.
All right, perfect. Then
let 'em know that.
I'll just
I think
send
most
them a
people
quick
thought
tweet.
it was Nomad that did the ranking on the board.
Oh, really?
On the
yeah,
Hawkeye
because
Report.
Nomad went. He went pretty hype last show.
Well, he lost his ever loving mind.
Nomad's a passionate man. I think all the Hawkeye fan, every fan should know that Nomad had a passionate plea to tell everyone that sub sandwiches are in fact not sandwiches, even though it's right there in the name. So Nomad was trying to convince the entire office that if you go to Subway and ask for a sandwich, they won't be able to give you one because they don't sell sandwiches at Subway. Jimmy John's also not a purveyor of sandwiches.
He was serious. But it tells you how detail-oriented the readers of rankings are. They thought he did it when it literally says your name on it.
Yeah, to get in touch with the rankers, contact Spay or CP.
Clearly a wrestling nomad.
Yeah, well, I mean, so the whole thing is great. I mean, I love seeing people get worked up about stuff. It's weird for me. I'm 1 year basically into the job, a little bit longer. Been contributing to the site. But it's just cool to see, all right, we have a process for the rankings. It's been the same since I started doing them a year ago with you. It's the same on the site for everything. It's the same for the way Willie and Nomad do the high school stuff. You look at two resumes, you look at two bodies of work, and you compare them, and then you move people up based on
explain
results.
what is in the resumes.
Right, and so for Spencer Lee, he was not in the pound for pound top 20 all year long. I don't think he snuck in at any point. Yanni was in and out at the bottom there after he had a couple big wins. Guys like Dean Heil obviously start the year in the pound for pound rankings because they're on 50 match win streaks and have national championships under their belt. But then as the season goes on and they either rack up more wins or more losses, they move up and down the rankings. So what it's never been is, hey, this week, who's had the best week, and let's do a who's hot right now rankings. And who's had literally the best performance, who's pinned someone that's really good, and then we just jumble them around every time. It would probably be easier because you could, easier and harder, I don't know. At the end of the NCAAs, it would definitely be easier because you just go to the most total points from the NCAAs, you'd look at that list, most team points, and you'd go, here's our top 10. And then we'd put that out there just like, for the weight class rankings, you basically just take the All-Americans and you make them your top 8 with a couple small adjustments or whatever, if a guy injury defaulted or if a guy didn't see, there was no true 8th or whatever.
So I missed something. What's the complaint here?
The complaint is that Spencer Lee is, I'm glad you brought that up because we're circling, around a bit, but Spencer Lee was 13th in the pound for pound rankings. And that is a crime against Hawkeye Nation.
Yeah,
Is there such a thing anymore?
Well, I know you're not going to be
Theon.
too sympathetic to him, but so the other thing is these guys love Spencer Lee, and you can tell everything we do that involves Spencer Lee, they get very, very passionate about. I think passion is the key word here. They're passionate fans. Spencer Lee is an incredible talent. We've been on him since cadet, junior,
elementary school. When he had the
yeah,
diapers,
how many times has he been on stuff or whatever? So we're not in any way, shape, or form going to hold back on the Spencer Lee hype. This was just a case of he was a one-time national champion.
And he's a freshman.
Look at the resume. Yes, he was a true freshman. Another great accomplishment. If you're ranking best true freshman performances, he's right up there with Yanni.
He'd be number 2 right behind Yanni.
That's how we have it in the pound for pound. And the main thing is it's the Ronnie Bresser loss at Midlands. And then obviously you don't count those injury defaults as losses. He didn't actually wrestle anybody, but he did play 6th at Midlands. And
For the record, I have nothing against Spencer Lee.
Spencer Lee's great. Nobody has anything against Spencer Lee.
Other than that, I have nothing against him.
So
I like watching him wrestle.
So the loss against Spencer Lee stays on his record, and it counts for pound right now. You don't just ignore it because he had an awesome NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament was incredibly impressive.
Well, obviously, we put great stock in the NCAA tournament, so they want great stock in the NCAA tournament. He went from unranked to 13th.
That's a nice big jump, and I am sympathetic to arguments that, well, he hammered. He also wasn't about to technical fall Nato. He was beating him soundly. He beat Suriano soundly, but when he pinned Nato, it wasn't like he was tech smashing him.
Well, not that matters. I mean, it's not.
We don't take a strength of victory into account either.
Right.
We lose our minds.
You kind of start with it's wins and losses first, right? It's like elite wins and who have you lost to, and you're comparing those, and you're stacking up pound for pound wins, All-American national champion wins, and your losses. So that's a starting point. And then if you get into a tighter situation, then maybe it's like, okay, well, who's more dominant? Who's separating themselves from the competition? But by and large, that rarely factors in. So we have him slotted in behind Miles Martin, a national champion as a true freshman himself, who only lost to the current number 4 pound for pound wrestler this year, Bo Nickel. So really, it's the Ronnie Bresser loss. And the further he gets away from that, the less it's going to matter, and the more he just continues to smash people.
It's like the Christian Brucky loss from Mark Hall.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 theories. There's the one that I'm sympathetic to, which is, okay, he should be ahead of Miles Martin. He won a national championship. Adam Kuhn didn't win a national championship. So they just want they want more weight on the NCAA tournament, which, all right, we could put more weight, but I don't see that as being a good way of going forward, because then you're just ignoring everything else. And then there are the people that say it was so impressive and he's a world champion and he's got all these other accolades. He should be in the top 5. He's the most impressive guy, top 3. And those, I think,
there's been a lot of impressive freshmen. You could go back to say Tion Weir, one of the true freshmen.
And those guys I think are either just ignoring the list. They don't know who Jason Nolf. I don't know how you get him ahead of Snyder, Zane Rutherford, Bo Nickel.
And Hawkeye world, unrealistic.
They're just getting caught up in the hype, or maybe they aren't even Hawkeye fans. They're just Spencer Lee fans. I think there's plenty of them too. But yeah, if we're starting the year next year with the preseason rankings, just take out the seniors, and that's what it's going to look like. And I think it's defensible. I'm incredibly comfortable with it. And bottom line is, it's great that people are caring about this pound for pound list. It's a nice free little ranking that we put.
So if you're starting the ranking next season, you'll probably come in at number 4 or 5.
Well, you take out the seniors, and I think he ends up like 8 or something. There's a lot of guys returning.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent coming
8 or 9. So thank you for all the feedback and the wonderful suggestions and thoughts from the community. They're very well received. But no, it is what it is. These are our pound for pound rankings. This is how we do it. It's the same way we've been doing it forever. So if you're just now noticing because they're 13th and you think Spencer Lee is a top 5 guy, then you're going to have a problem with it, and that's fine.
You know the funniest thing? I got a funny story here about, parents wanting where they think people should be ranked. One of the departments I manage here at Flow is customer service, so sometimes people want to escalate things beyond one of my managers.
Do a whole show on that, I bet.
All the way up. There's like people that calls in and go, I want to talk to whoever did the rankings. They need to change it. I always go, hey, it's Willie or CP, but no, I want to talk to them right now. Sorry, like, why am I even talking to you? They're like, well, I requested to go straight at the manager. The customer service wouldn't change me. Wouldn't
this is
wouldn't
not
change
like, we didn't apply your coupon correctly on your value meal. No, it's like
they I mean, there's some people that's just brutal on rankings.
I love it.
I love the passion.
It's great. It's great. So that's that. One of the neatest parts about having Spay here at Flow is when something horrible happens, like a program gets canceled, Spay gets up in their business.
Yeah.
The things he did to Boise State last year.
Bob Custra. I'm not done with him yet either.
He forced him to retire.
Listen, all I'm saying is Bob Custer was gainfully employed, and then soon after the heat, he turned up the heat. That man got out of Dodge.
All over him like a rash.
Yeah, like a rash. So now
rash.
we've got this EMU situation, Spay. Why don't you get us up to speed? What's going on there?
Yeah, sure. So a couple different big differences between those. Bob Custer obviously is a guy that's been in power at Boise State for like 8 years and then decides to abuse that power by needlessly canceling a wrestling team so he could start a pet project of a baseball team, which makes absolutely zero sense in Boise, Idaho, to have a college baseball team there. So you can go look up all the stuff we did about them, but basically just showing how it was like a real shady deal between basically Bob Custer's
They
friends.
replaced him with video game too. Made video gamers team.
Oh, that was just some random thing where they were going to have like a club team.
Okay.
It wasn't going to be a part of the NCAA. I mean, the NCAA has to sanction pro gaming or whatever.
Okay.
Willie probably knows about that. He's a big fan. But it was basically just like he loved baseball so much that he's just like, all right, I'm going to do this now and not really care about all the university stakeholders. And
How'd their
students.
team do?
What's that?
How'd the team do? Baseball.
They haven't started yet.
Oh,
They're
man.
still years away from even fielding
have-
a team.
Man, so they screwed.
Well, yeah, and to show how just backwards and insane Custer was with his obsession over baseball, he paid like $50,000 to design baseball uniforms because he's like a kid with a hobby, and he just thought baseball is just so cool. The university
He paid $50,000.
$50,000 to design super cool alternate home away. All you can look it up. I mean,
Are we in the wrong job? We should be going to designing.
Seriously. Hey, Spay.
yeah, there's some
You're wearing a bootleg
Sion.
flow
I was about to say.
and it's
Designed by
off-
Sion Williams. You know,
Listen.
like nice color here.
It's awful.
Nice.
That
I'ma
is-
tell you
that
something.
is-
I like my bright colors. All right.
that is so
I
off-brand.
like my bright colors. I am
telling-
Jamaican. We like
Does that
our
mean
colors.
brand standards?
Sion.
We like at Flo. I'm not a Flo in Jamaica. You know, we like to stick out.
All right. Well,
We like to be
so you
shiny.
think you're bigger than the program. You're bigger
Not
than
bigger
the
than the
company.
program. I'm just one small cog in the big clock. That
Well,
turns.
you're not really falling in line here because I've been told I was wearing something that I didn't make it or anything. It was sent to us by another gear provider, and Martin Floriani told me to burn it.
Wait. How is this outside? That's the right color logo. The shirt's just a
It is
right
not
color
the
shirt.
100% not the right
The
color.
right color. There ain't nothing wrong with the logo.
The logo is not right.
What's wrong with the logo?
It's too small.
It's
Your shirt-
okay. It's just because the logo's small.
It looks janky.
It looks really
Hey,
janky on
hey,
that green
I
shirt.
like
They're professionals
I
that
like
make-
to be.
that
I
is
like
on
nationals.
brand. On brand.
I like my
Professionals
nice
made
bright
this.
colors.
You look like a flagman working on I-35 with that
Hey,
shirt.
what do
It's
you
too
know
bright.
about Jamaicans, man? We like bright colors
Why are you making it about your nationality?
because we like bright colors.
Yeah, he's playing the
So you're
Jamaican
attacking
card.
all
Playing the
Jamaicans
Jamaican
right now.
card. That doesn't
You're
give
attacking
you a
all
right.
Jamaicans right now.
all Jamaicans. If we surveyed all Jamaicans, I think they'd agree that that's a janky looking shirt.
Yeah.
Have you looked?
They have a fashion sense.
Let's put up a
Sion.
poll. Put up a poll.
Listen, Usain
Put up a poll.
Usain Bolt would not be wearing.
Absolutely not.
Say, put up a poll for Jamaicans and see what Jamaicans say.
I'll
okay,
let
listen.
you handle that.
I don't know how to
You
do
know
that.
more Jamaicans than we do.
That's a lot of work on Twitter, which I don't do much on Twitter. I'm a little behind.
Yeah, you are behind. Which Sion, listen, getting Sion on the show, he has demands, and one of them is that we need to increase his Twitter followers. Maybe we can get Kyle can pull up his Twitter account.
Yes, at Sion W.
CYON.
CYONW.
Look at that. Look at. All right, there it is. So let's get a quick perusal of the account. He's got 360. I say, how quickly can we get him to 500, guys? Everyone follows Sion W. Or something bad's gonna happen. Maybe he
You
won't
also
come in.
need to tweet more, Sion.
Yeah.
March
Yeah.
15th, your last tweet.
March. Come on, bro.
Put that person
No,
out
everyone
on the
actually
internet.
unfollow him.
Wow.
Get him down to
180.
0.
We got to get Sion up to 1,000. I changed my mind. You're done. Nuke that account. Nuke it.
Everyone report him.
Yeah,
Everyone
I don't know.
report.
Man. If I start tweeting a lot, it might be bad.
You're right. You're
You're
right.
allowed to
We could
curse
have a
on
Willy stitch
Twitter.
on our
There's no
hands.
cursing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's plenty of cursing on Twitter.
So should we get Spay back on the Kustra train?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I was.
so
We were trying to go on
EMU.
EMU, but we got him
Right.
on Kustra.
Well, because a lot of people want to know why aren't we going as hard against EMU as we did against Boise State. And I mean, there were some specific circumstances that were immediately shady that Boise State folks reached out to us and provided a lot of that background as well. But for EMU, it was one of those typical. This is what happened at kind of Boston University, at some of the other ones that a closed up shop over the years, and it's the cost cutting, and there's only so much money to go around, and blah blah blah.
So it ain't even Title IX anymore.
I mean, it's a lot of it is. It's football right now is what this one is. It's not really Title IX. Title IX is always going to be a factor because there's, again, scarce resources. You have to allocate them somehow. You can't have 50 programs. I'm sure every athletic director would like to have more. It would be more stuff for him to be in charge of and more prestige, I guess. But the bottom line is, again, there's only so many dollars to go around. The rest of the school needs money for a million other things. There's always going to be more people asking for a bigger slice of that pie. So at Eastern Michigan, unfortunately, what you have is a team that went 1A from Division II in the 70s, and their football team has been lacking. They're in the MAC. The MAC's got some good, a lot of good things going for it. I think, Kyle, you could speak for some the virtues of MACtion.
Yeah, it's great. Weeknight football.
Great weeknight football, Tuesday night MACtion. Yeah. And so Eastern Michigan hasn't been really competitive. So I guess this new AD came in about a year ago, got buy-in from the Board of Regents, all the stakeholders, and said, we're going to go.
He capitalizes the E's in his name.
Oh, so you know he's serious about Eastern Michigan.
That's how you know he's all in at EMU. He's capitalized all the E's.
Eastern Michigan's got Michigan, Michigan State. They ain't, sorry, their football's never
That's exactly the problem. So they want to be competitive at least in the MAC, but there are there's Central Michigan and Western Michigan are also
CMU's pretty good, right?
in the state.
And Western, yeah.
And they all have like a head start, and they're not literally like a 20-minute.
So right now it's the 4th program in the state.
Well, 5th.
Man, they might as well. They might have to move to Idaho to get better there.
Well, that's the thing. So Wisconsin, with their state universities, or Minnesota, they have their flagship, and then everybody else is either Division II or Division III. And I'm not saying Michigan has to copy all that, and there's nothing wrong with saying Eastern Michigan, right? There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we want big-time football. I'm a big football guy. I think a lot of people are also football fans that follow wrestling.
They could become the Mount Union of.
They could become Mount Union. They could go 1AA. There's plenty of that. There's look at Montana. Look at
Northern Iowa.
Okay, so wrestling.
Right. So wrestling, the big thing is they're saying we need to allocate more resources to football and build a $35 million sports complex. So what should we do? We should cut the wrestling team. Well, they couldn't have picked a worse time. They're also cutting women's tennis. Women's tennis, softball, and men's swimming, diving, which happened to be pretty successful. You look up swimming and diving, they're pretty the same. But just last year, Eastern Michigan had 5 national qualifiers. That is the most, literally in school history. In the history of the school, this is the most national qualifiers, and that happened in 2018 in Cleveland. They had a MAC champ, 184 pounds, Kane McCallum. That was their first since 2009. They had an All-American, 8th place, revelation at 141 pounds, Sedarian Perry, first All-American since 1999, and David Balliard was MAC Coach of the Year. So this is a program that has, and it's if you look at their history, every year they're getting 2 or 3 or more qualifiers. So this is a program that is decidedly mid-major. It does not have the resources of Michigan or Michigan State, and they are doing very well. And they're
better than Michigan State.
Certainly better than Michigan State right now.
You can probably add up Michigan State's last 5 years in NCAA's point total, and
they scored negative points 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was an impressive feat.
They even below Iowa
That's
State.
hard to do. That's literally hard to do.
And 0.
So you add all that up, and then you go, all right, well, this doesn't really make any sense. You're taking these successful programs that are operating efficiently, that are not costing a lot of money, and then you're saying you have to spend all that, and we're going to cut them to save, I don't know how much.
So let's talk about the $208,000 reporting.
Yeah, so then the big kind of bombshell comes out. You dig into their numbers. You look at the financial reporting. Every NCAA school, especially ones that take state money, public funds, have to report all their expenses and their revenue so that they can be Title IX compliant, basically, there's more to it, but that's the long and the short of it. So you look at their numbers and you go, well, in 2017, so the 16-17 season, they spent $860,000 or so on their wrestling program, according to this report. And then you look at their past years; it's all publicly available. You can look it up. It's about $200,000 or so more than they typically spend. A program of that size, and their MAC peers usually spend around $600,000 to $800,000, but EMU's been on the low end. Then you look at the full report from this year, and there are game day expenses under wrestling of what is it, $290 something thousand dollars
For what?
And that's the big question. See, for why is it costing that? That's more than what it costs for football game day. But this is like, what does it cost to run a dual meet or an open or whatever?
Does it look like they kind of?
So unless you're renting out Madison Square Garden every night that you have a home duel and getting new mats and having a laser light show, and
DJ Khaled.
So,
yeah, DJ Khaled would do the opening ceremony. Yeah,
So basically, the Eastern Michigan wrestling books is like the Enron of the wrestling world.
it's very Enron-ish. Very good for the younger guys out there. Enron was a company that just lied about how much money they made.
So
and how much money they
so we should be so the accountant that did those numbers should be investigated.
So then there was some tweets about it. It was like, this is obviously wrong. No one can spend this much on wrestling mats. And then I think yesterday it came out, and then we got an article up now on www.flowwrestling.org that really breaks it down. They said, oh, sorry, that's our bad. That was $280,000 that we booked as a wrestling expense. That was not. Their actual game day expenses were $12,000, which is what it costs for any school of that size to roll out mats. And I think one of the wrestlers even tweeted, "We roll out the mats." So what's going like? I know how much it costs.
We should ask some. We got some. I'm sure there's some wrestling accountants out there. I'm sure we could get them to do a free audit of the Eastern Michigan books to find out what else is wrong.
Yeah, there are people already asking to do that.
Okay.
But the school, to their credit, I guess, copped to what they were billing or what they were saying wrestling was spending it on, and it turns out they took women's basketball and men's basketball referee official costs, which were like $60,000 each, and $180,000 or so for bowl game expenses, which is unclear exactly what it is, but it's probably unsold bowl game tickets.
So
for
right now,
year.
I'm seeing some smoke. So there might be some other fires somewhere. So what else is wrong in there?
Well, that's the big thing. So then the conspiracy theory, which I don't necessarily ascribe to, and we didn't put in the article, but it's out there. You can go to wrestlingbypirate.wordpress.com, I think, and look up the theory that Scott Weatherby has orchestrated this entire event to personally enrich himself.
Long con.
It's a long con. So he came on board, I think, in July of 2017, and then signed his contract in December. This report was filed, the expense report. Or
I see smoke.
Yeah, that was November 30th. So technically he was like working on the job before his contract signed and could have been telling them, hide the expenses for these big revenue sports, for these big name sports, and put them under wrestling where no one will pay attention. But obviously,
hey, do we have one of those buzzers when it starts flashing Enron?
We used to.
Yeah,
we don't have that anymore.
What happened? That was my favorite buzzer.
I know,
that you guys
one
had.
of my favorite visual aids for this show. But I don't remember what happened to it.
Yeah,
we cut it.
So we could say
we had to do our
Eastern
own budget
Michigan
cuts.
equaled Enron.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be the follow-up article. But then the rest of the long con involves Scott Weatherby's contract, which you can Freedom of Information Act request, which Seton Hall Pirate did, and found out that the less programs that the school had. Well, first the contract says the university has no quote unquote has no present intention to eliminate any of its current varsity sports, which obviously was not true because then they within a year
like 3 or 4
within a year of signing that contract, and the less sports, the less overhead that the school has in its athletic department, the easier it is for Scott Weatherby, the AD, to get out of his contract. If he leaves and takes another job, that's less of a buyout.
So he means by killing all these sports, he's trying to jump ship.
It'll make him easier for it. It's less of a liability on his personal books. Also, he has an incentive to raise funds, which I think every AD would have that. That in and of itself is not bad.
That's a part of the job.
But he started the $35 million campaign for new facilities the day he started, and it's a lot easier to raise funds for this big campaign than it is to say, we just need extra money to keep our current 21 sports or so viable. So I have not subscribed to this belief.
Yeah.
What's the student body thing? Anybody poll the student body and see
that's ultimately, I think, the same thing that Boise State ran into was these decisions are being made without the feedback of the stakeholders, without the students, without the community, without the people that live in the state.
Well, the problem with Eastern Michigan, too, is it's like mainly a commuter school.
Right.
It's not like Boise State. It's a lot of like people that are going back to school.
Blue collar.
Yeah. But
it's in the shadow of Michigan. It's right. Ann Arbor is right down the road.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with commuter schools.
Central Florida.
The
South
school's
Florida,
struggling in general just to even get kids to go there, whether it's for sports or not.
And then
so by cutting sports, they're not really helping it because regularly sports draws some more kids there.
Right.
So they ultimately diminishing their student.
They played themselves.
Well, and then the enrollment factor, I'm glad you brought that up because then ultimately what is a lot more credible than the conspiracy theory, I should say, is that when you look at the true cost that you're going to save based on these numbers that the school is reporting itself, and then they say how much are they going to save when you get rid of this? Well, enrollment costs, or enrollment fees, tuition is going to go up when you have a wrestling team because you only have 9.9 scholarships and you have more people wrestling. So you're going to have all these people, plus when you add up all the other sports, they're going to lose tons of tuition, which the school is apparently not accounting for. And the cost of the scholarships that you say you save is actually a lot less because those numbers are not true costs. You're not actually paying all that to every kid with a scholarship. You're paying
How many people's on the Eastern Michigan team?
There's about 30.
30. So you say they have 9.9 scholarship.
So 20.
So 20 people are paying tuition.
That wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
Likely.
So that's not going to be there no more. And then if you add all the other sports.
Right. So from what I understand, the EMU people are doing it right. They're getting alumni donors. They're getting people together, and this is a huge revelation. This $280,000 error. Even if they say they tried to hand wave it away as if well, that didn't really factor into our internal calculations, but can't really ignore something that big, especially when it's red flags of major sports being billed to a minor sport. So they're having a meeting with the chief financial officer. They're getting everybody together, and it's the donors that have the most power that are ultimately the ones that can.
Do we have a list of the donors? Can we
all right.
Can we start polling the donors?
And they're gonna try to sort this out. So stay tuned. The article's up there right now about what the biggest issues that EMU is going to face right now with trying to continue with their path that they've chosen. And we'll see. Maybe the alumni, maybe the local guys, the stakeholders at EMU can help make a difference, and we'll obviously be there all along the way doing what we can.
So, yeah, that's this situation screwed up. EMU definitely incompetent. Looking forward or looking at other things, some updates. West Virginia coaching situation. Coleman Scott's name was in the mix for a while there. Not going, not interested, not going to have that, not pursuing that job. He's staying at UNC. So Tim Flynn is a name. I believe that Tim is going to or has already interviewed for the position. And Kerry Collat's name keeps flying around, but really it's been relatively quiet otherwise.
I find it really weird. It feels like 4 years ago when this job was open, there was a lot more interest.
Yeah.
And I find that doesn't make sense to me, really.
Regularly when it's this quiet, the AD regularly already have somebody picked out.
Maybe.
I don't think that he does. I really don't. I think Coleman was probably his top choice.
Kyle, have you officially dropped out?
No, not at all.
All right. Well,
I'm just saying,
that's some heat on the hot stove.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be candid, how excited were you when you found out Coleman wasn't in consideration? Because that's
I
big
gave
competition.
a fist pump.
You gave a fist pump.
Yeah.
Why, you don't like
But
Coleman?
no, I guess no. I want the
wants
least
the
amount
job.
of competition
Okay.
possible. I just find it very weird. The roster's in a better place now than it was 4 years ago when
Can I be your assistant?
Turnbull. No. When Turnbull stepped down.
Man.
I don't know. They've upgraded facilities since then. They got new mats. The locker room's been updated. I don't know.
I don't know what the deal is. Maybe there's more. Maybe we just don't know as much on this one. That could be it too. Maybe
All
there's
right, I'm
stuff
putting
happening.
my hat in the game for South Dakota State,
You're a Brookings guy?
I'm going to Brookings.
You've never even been there.
No, I've never been there, but
It's great.
I want to check it out for the first time. When
We got an SDSU update, right?
SDSU update. Morningstar, Clemson, Hahn. Let's see. One of them, I think, is already interviewed. I think Coach Hahn's today and maybe Clemson later on this week. And I don't know for sure if Becker's interviewed yet or not.
So why wouldn't they interview Hahn for West Virginia?
You almost said Western Virginia.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're looking for a head coach, someone with head coaching experience right now.
Not a lot in the market right now, that they could go pull.
A
lot of programs are invested in their programs. It's kind of hard to go try to steal somebody right about now.
Well, Penn State was able to do it, so I think West Virginia could do it too.
Ooh, is that a shot?
I don't know. Who did
No,
Penn State steal? Oh, they stole
You. They stole you from Iowa State.
Nobody ain't steal me from anywhere.
Okay, well, one day I see you Matt side
Hey.
shooting Iowa State duels, and 3 hours later you're sitting in the VIP suite with a Penn State shirt on the Big Ten Network.
And
Hey,
you got called.
that's because somebody never bought me a plane ticket,
Wow, unbelievable. So
As
yeah,
I say, you're loyal to those who are loyal to you.
oh, listen to him.
Classic.
Mr.
Sionism.
Loyalty. Oh, we're gonna start a segment here. We're gonna pull up Sedarian Perry's Twitter, and we're just gonna see the coaches that have recently followed him on Twitter, and then start connecting some dots. I do know for a fact he visited Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, but beyond that, I don't know. So Kyle's gonna pull it up.
As you just mentioned, Brandon Eggum.
Oh my gosh, that was not good.
Yeah,
Brandon
maybe
Eggum.
Maybe we don't show the actual.
Oh, okay. I kind of liked it, except for the ladies. That wasn't good.
No Iowa State coaches. We could use a good 41-pounder.
Iowa State. What about
Oh,
Austin?
there's Kyle Borshoff.
Okay, Binghamton. Wow, Binghamton in the mix. He must have had a lot of followers recently. Normally, you can just like.
Yeah, I think he got a lot. When
Now he's famous.
obviously everything happened. Yeah. Oh, there's Virginia Tech.
Ooh, Hokies in the mix. Name the coaches.
I'm trying to find him.
Okay.
I should have pulled this up prior.
Yeah, man, we messed this up bad.
How about just some of the other ones that are following him now?
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
That's the whole
No,
thing.
no, no. I mean, just like random, not wrestling related.
Oh, Quinn McGlamory.
Sure, give them some.
Oh,
love.
there's Bryce Hassman, North
Nice.
Carolina.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, this segment failed.
This
miserably.
flopped. Wow.
This flopped huge. This is the biggest flop in FRL
I was
history.
Oh,
loving
there's
it.
Christian Piles.
I followed him. I'm gonna see if he might want to work at Flow Wrestling.
I got a spot open.
Okay, Sion's got a job for
I
you.
got a job for him, man. Every time he wants to come work.
Doyle
at Flow.
Trout
He could turn pro.
and Fred
Dang,
Stroker.
he got so many followers.
So many followers. He became too famous. JDJ. Okay, Rutgers. All right. Enough of this. Enough of that. Let's get to the questions. So we got a lot. I asked for FRL general questions, but then I asked for Sion specific questions, and I want to start with those. I want to start with the Sion questions.
What is the Sion questions?
Well, there's several. I tweeted and asked, you're a big grill guy. How do you feel about Kirk Cousins, an NFL quarterback, grilling his steaks inside aluminum foil boats? He lays down the aluminum foil and puts it on the grill.
Well, everybody does their grilling differently. Sometimes the aluminum foil, you put it in aluminum foil, and if you close the top, it makes it a little more tender. So, it depends on how you want your steak done. So, I'm a fan of it.
Wow. I expected a complete evisceration
Hey,
there.
I cook all sorts. I grill all sorts of ways. Sometimes I use aluminum foil. Sometimes it's charcoal. Sometimes it's gas. It's all about the taste and what you're in the mood for.
Okay. All right, I love that answer. You're showing a different side of you, Sion. Question for Sion. Any interest in joining Kyle Brackey and Ryan Morningstar in West Virginia? That was
Well, as soon as you put the Morning Star on that, I said no.
what?
Well, we said no first. I just
No,
want to
I'm
make that
saying-
clear.
Yeah,
True-
make it
true that.
clear.
Yeah.
Now I'm telling y'all no.
All right. Well, it sounds
Wow.
like you're out.
I'm out.
Everybody's out.
With an outdoorsman like Zadok on Iowa State staff, will Cyclones convert to deer jerky?
It's Iowa. They all eat deer jerky now.
Okay.
You should be saying he's from Montana. Are they going to convert to moose jerky or one of those exotic animals from up in Montana?
Okay, that's a good
But
question.
it's
too.
Iowa. Deer jerky. I never ate deer until I got to Iowa.
Nose Tweets asks, what's the best style of barbecue and why? Texas, Kansas City, Memphis, dry rub, or Carolina?
Jamaican jerk.
Okay, that wasn't listed, but all right.
Jerk chicken.
take that one
jerk
out,
chicken. Jerk pork.
So we assume that one's number one. What's
Okay,
number two?
we get it. Jamaica.
What's number two?
Okay, what are the other choices?
Texas, Kansas City, Memphis, dry rub, or Carolina?
I am a dry rub fan.
Okay, I like Carolina a lot. I mean, that's because where I'm from. What is the best wine to pair with Slim Jims?
This is a very I'm very interested in this too.
Best wine to pair with Slim Jims. Let's
Got to be a
assume
Merlot.
a Merlot.
Red.
Obviously.
A Merlot. How many Slim Jims can you eat in a day before you have to stop yourself?
The most I've ever eaten in a day is probably 15, 16. Probably more than that. Whenever I'm doing a road trip, it's just I always got to have a Slim Jim and water. So there's times I was driving from Iowa to New York and it's just straight Slim Jim. So there's always a whole bunch of package. Long drive, I don't need to stop at fast food. when you go to fast food, you gotta stop and eat go to the bathroom. You're eating Slim Jim and water, you're fine for the whole trip.
If you had, like, condensed that into one, that would be like a mass of processed meat this big that you would finish in a day. Like,
Yeah.
and then you're fine with just the processed meat snack.
I hope you have a good cardiologist.
Wow.
I'm glad Flow has great benefits. That's going to be good for you long term. Okay, those are the Sion questions. Additional questions. These are just general for all of us to answer. Next team to win NCAAs that has never won. What team is most likely? This is really tough.
I like the ACC teams.
Oh, okay. Pack mentality.
Yeah, I got that, and I got Virginia Tech. But you never know.
NC
You could have
State is the
right. They're the closest right now.
That's the closest.
That's the closest right now. But also
outside the major five, the only team that has a hope right now is NC State.
What about?
But just about all of them are coming up.
Think about Cornell though.
Think about Cornell. Think about it.
Oh, Cornell. It was Cornell.
Cornell ain't ever gonna win.
What was the random one in Iowa that was like also with Co-College or something? I'm thinking of.
Oh, I don't know about
That
that.
If you
was
go
way
back
back
to
in
like
the
the 40s and what, there's some
Pro College, yeah.
All right, yeah, Cornell. But can they get
Cornell
the
ain't gonna
lineup
win.
everywhere? They always have like national champs, but
Yeah,
often some
I mean, I think their potential lineup next year with Vito Yanni, Stroker, John J. Chavez an All-American, Womack's an All-American, Max Dean's an
Cornell's
All-American.
best chance was back in 2010, 2011, and I don't see
they're reloaded in a big way.
They're not going to have as much a balanced lineup as they had back then.
They have two potential champs right away, and they have. I mean, it's gonna be tough for them to win next year, obviously, but as those guys mature, they're gonna have a total of between John Jay, the big two, John Jay, Max Dean, and Womack. They already have 5 All-Americans in their lineup, and that's not counting someone like Vito, who
Also decent.
is really, really good. Chaz Tucker's emerged as a solid guy.
So wait, where's Vito and Chaz Tucker going to go? What weight class?
Well, Vito might go 25 is kind of a rumor.
That might be hurting him.
Yeah, right? He's
So now that cuts his stock a little once if you say he's going to be sucking all that weight.
yeah, but he also could just be a Tasmanian devil down there.
Could be.
Vito is going to be really fun next year because that guy is crazy.
Yeah.
He
Big
has
crowd pleaser.
he is like has amazing pace about him.
Hey, I got a list of guys that followed Perry. You ready?
Get it?
Ryan Morningstar,
Oh,
Lock Haven Wrestling.
all right.
Frank Beasley,
Bees.
Gabe
Yes.
Dean, Gerard Garnett, Ethan Kyle, Izzy Silva, Jared Freyer, Anthony Ralph, Clarion, Jimmy Sheptalk, John Mark Bentley, Trent Paulson, Tony Ramos, Kerry McCoy, and Scott Goodell.
Ooh.
That was all right
Quite a list.
after.
And he's a
Eastern
Florida
Michigan.
guy.
He should go to Virginia.
Yeah.
So he's
I know those coaches. They're great over at Virginia. He'd make a great fit in Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, UVA? Or
Trent
Virgi-
Travis
He's saying
Paulson.
that because of Paulson.
Garland, Great coaches.
I'm sure they've been in touch with him for a while now,
Yeah.
right?
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Does he? He doesn't rent from them, right?
Hey, they just followed him on Twitter just like everybody else.
Yep. Okay. I'll just stop there. Someone actually asked about that situation. Someone was like, are we ever going to get... Dresser said there will be repercussions. Are there any repercussions from the store?
For
you
there to
did?
be repercussion, there must be something to be repercussed for.
Oh, there
Right,
was.
that's
Yeah,
technical
well, there
term.
was.
There was.
A preponderance of evidence.
I don't see nothing.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea what y'all talking about.
right.
Show me the proof.
Next team to beat Penn State and prediction on when it will happen.
Like in a duel?
I think.
I think
NCAA.
Jake Agnich.
Agnich.
I want to say his
What's up,
name
Jake?
right because he's a really smart guy. Good Twitterer. Yeah,
It ain't
I don't
gonna
know.
happen in this decade. Maybe in 2030.
2030.
Sion, stop.
Sion.
You almost lost this year.
Yeah. They won by one match.
Lost the Big Tens.
Hey,
They didn't even win Big Tens the last 2 years.
they said dual meet. That's not a dual meet.
No, they didn't.
They actually didn't say anything. That's why I asked.
They said dual meet. No one said dual meet.
I heard dual meet.
Yes, but for me over here. So.
Okay, all right. Then, so I heard dual meet.
Oh
Jamaicans, not good listeners.
Wow.
We hear what we need to hear.
Yeah, evidently. So I think it's probably sounds stupid, but or like kind of a lame answer, but it's probably Ohio State. I just like the kind of core that they have. I like their recruiting class. I think they have a lot of really, really solid guys coming in. I would love to see them get David Carr, but they didn't.
His words belongs at home.
At home.
It's back in the fold.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys mentioned it last show, but obviously not like next year, maybe even a couple years after that. But if Oklahoma State gets the resources that their AD said, and I don't know how much longer John Smith's there, but
how much more resources could you pump into Oklahoma State?
oh, tons.
A lot.
I mean, their RTC is like literally in its infancy stage.
Okay, all right. Their RTC is the only area that's lacking.
They also
Which is where so much money
They
is
could
going.
just get their own
Facility.
too.
Yeah.
Right now,
The
they're just kind
facility's
of
nice.
yeah, but they're just kind of like on the second floor at Gallagher.
It's nice.
Gallagher. Yeah, it's nice, but look what Ohio State's building. Look what Penn State has. Look what Michigan has.
Iowa's gonna build.
Penn State's in
yeah.
right next to the student facility center.
Yeah, look how nice it is though. How nice.
Oklahoma State's nice.
It's not bad. They said that last week too, or last show, but
Missouri's in same thing, building with everything else.
Think about Iowa State's facility though.
Iowa State's right there in the same building.
But they have a bigger, better facility than Oklahoma State probably.
Just as nice.
Okay. Well, they're gonna get a new one. Yeah, Oklahoma State. I mean, they're probably the team with the best shot to beat them next year. I'll say Ohio State. Iowa 2020 could be interesting if they get DeSanto, and
They really need to recruit the middleweights.
yeah.
That's
They
where
get the Santo, or if Penn State get the
Well-
Santo, they ain't happening.
Well, no, Lugo's got 2 years yet.
Kimmer's still got 2 years.
Kimmer's got 2 years.
Marinelli's got 3.
Marinelli's got the
74 is the big weak
they have a
spot.
good 125 pounder.
And
We'll see if he pans out.
he's
So
only
we'll
ranked
see.
13th pound for pound.
Only
so
13th. That's true. He's got he's got a lot of ground to cover.
They're still weak at 33.
But if they get
if they get
DeSantis,
DeSanto,
All right, 41.
Max Murin's going to be good.
Heavyweight.
power double.
Max heavyweight's going to be ranked like number 1 or 2 preseason.
Who they got heavyweight right now?
Sam Stoll.
Samuel.
He'd pin you so fast. He'd pin you in a tilt.
Man, like I said, baseball bat to both knees capped with him too.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow.
Ah, they're
All
going
right.
All
Okay.
right,
Vicious.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
casino
Kind of a
style.
psycho.
Yeah.
Pardon my Tanner Lefevre asks, pardon my lack of background knowledge, but how rare is it for Spencer Lee type to make senior national team at that age or legitimately compete for a World Olympic medal? Snyder did this in 2015. True freshman, made the world team, won worlds.
Technically,
But other
he
than
wasn't a
that,
true freshman, man.
Huh?
He had a year at the Olympic Training Center.
no, he didn't. No.
That was
You're-
his senior year.
that was
of
his
high
senior
school.
year of high school.
All right, then.
Educate
All right, I
you.
was
Hey,
wrong.
you can sit in
I
that
was wrong.
couch.
I was
You,
wrong.
hey,
I was wrong.
listen.
I was wrong.
All right.
I just said I was wrong.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Good. I'm very sensitive about Kyle. We need to be given an accurate representation of what that guy has done. All right, this is a great question from Brad. What should I do to get a girlfriend? I think, Sion, you should take this one.
Well, y'all want to get that to me. What should you do to get a girlfriend?
Well, what would you do to get a girlfriend?
Well, there's these nice websites they call Match.com, PlentyOfFish.com. I don't
you
like
on them?
eHarmony. eHarmony, when I was in Iowa, eHarmony told me I had 0 matches in Iowa. So,
What?
I had to leave Iowa.
Because
But-
it's on Match, isn't it?
Yeah, eHarmony was like 0 matches. I was like, they make you take that long survey,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the survey, they go, you have 0 matches.
That's unbelievable.
That's like 2 hours a month. I'm like, oh, man.
How many matches do you have down here?
In eHarmony?
Yeah.
I never went back. I don't like them no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will not waste my time filling out that survey ever again.
Dang.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
Are
you can start swiping left and right on Tinder. Then they got the Bumble app. Hey, man, there's plenty of ways to get women out there nowadays.
Okay.
Someone gave him some pretty good advice on Twitter
What's that?
to change his last name.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Brad
didn't-
C.
I didn't read his last name.
We can say his Twitter handle if people want to look it up, right? There's nothing wrong with
His-
ASAP
well-
Turd, right?
Yeah.
What
ASAP.
is, what is
At ASAP Turd. Go
Yeah.
with it.
all right, bro. Change your
that's-
Twitter handle.
Is that his
First
real
step.
name?
I don't know. I don't know.
Brad,
know.
Charlotte Airport.
Okay. What top move could I legitimately execute for near fall against Kyle
None.
Legitimately? So the keyword is legitimately.
Half.
Let's say no, I ain't gonna half him over. Probably my best bet. Let's say if we wrestled for 3 hours straight a day for a month, chances are at some point I could put you on your back for 2 seconds.
No.
So you're saying
not-
CP's
3
that terrible?
hours a day for a month.
Yeah.
There's not one time.
I would gas you from bottom.
There's not one time I could.
Well,
What about slapping in a cradle every
Yeah,
now and then? But when
no.
you go to stand and you get lazy,
I'm just gonna. What am I just laying there on bottom for 3 hours? I'm not getting up.
as you go to stand and then you
No, I'm not nomad. You
No.
can crossface
All right, all
cradle nomad all day. I'm
Okay.
not
crossface.
nomad.
This is a catch you in a cradle.
I might go. Yeah, you might turn in wrong side. I go near side.
Christian, stop. You're not turning me.
All right, well, hold on now. Let me change the
Is
parameters.
Christian that bad?
I'm pretty bad.
Man.
I mean, it's all relative.
It's all
We're all
relative, right?
retired.
Well, in that case, the only way is right when they're about to put Kyle in the ground, CP lays on top just to get his back point.
Sion goes right to as soon as Kyle's about to die. when they're literally laying him in the ground like he's already dead, and like at the funeral, like hold on, I gotta get the back come from the top rope.
Yeah. Yes.
Get somebody to count, and then immediately like tweet it out like, got you, Kyle.
As Olivia weeps, I get the near
I'm
fall.
glad Sion found the one scenario.
Okay, here's if you had to wrestle live from bottom only for 3 hours a day for a month.
You would not turn me.
Stop it! You had to wrestle from bottom. It's like, all right, you got away. Okay, you're going
How
back
are
down.
you confident
Kyle,
in this?
you're forgetting.
I'm not confident. Listen,
You're also deceased at this point.
yeah.
no, I'm not confident at all. Listen, I could never legitimately hit one in a match, right? But we're talking about 30 days times 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't care.
900 hours.
I will
90
never be turned by you.
90 hours. I couldn't do it.
No.
Like I said, man.
2 seconds.
No.
CP,
I
just
think.
wait till they're about to put him in the grave, right before they throw the dirt
All right,
on.
I might just have to wait till you die or
Dude,
our near death. Someone asked, did you see the bull training with the Savage in the background in Iowa City? Yeah, Richie Lewis could be headed to Iowa City as a training spot.
Well, he was coached by
Hawkeye
Hawkeye in
Wrestling
high
Club?
school, in JUCO.
Yep.
He's already spent, 2 years in the state.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it would be like a huge change.
Need a picture of him and Tom Brands together.
I know.
Pals.
Wait. We need a picture of him, current picture, and the one from Big Ten.
Yeah, that would be funny. The super match between JB and Chamizo, this ever going to happen, or it's just a media tease? No, I don't think they're teasing.
Let's tease a little bit more.
Let's tease a little bit more. Well, we didn't initiate the tease. It was Jordan and Chamizo, and we just kind of maybe we stoked it.
Good point.
Just a light stoke.
It was a little flint, so now we're fanning it so it burns into a big
Just like-
blaze.
Yeah.
You know?
And now we got a roaring campfire.
The plan, the hope is that we could maybe see this at Beat the Streets. I don't know.
Possibly you.
Maybe.
Possibly.
If not that, World Championships, 74. Come up and get some, Frank.
Would watch.
Some people, yeah. Multiple people think that Chamizo would beat Burroughs. That to me is insane.
Burroughs is too big for him.
He's too good.
That too.
He's too good.
I don't see it, but do you think there's out of 10 matches that Chamizo could sneak one in? I mean, Burroughs has taken losses in 2 out of 3 series before. I'm not putting money on Frank, but I'm saying hold that door open a tiny bit for a.
This dude needed a late comeback to beat Jordan Oliver. And we're talking about that's not a Jordan Oliver thing. That's like, look at Jordan Burroughs. We're talking about Jordan Burroughs now. A year later, I really don't see it.
Okay, 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I'll say 99 out of 100.
All right, that we'll round up to call that 10 out of 10. I don't think it's wrong to say that Burroughs is that far ahead.
Okay.
I'm just thinking I could possibly see where people are coming from when they say Chamizo could sneak one on Burroughs.
Okay.
Hey, anything could happen on any given day.
Any given
That's what they
Sunday.
say, but not me turning Kyle for 2 seconds.
It could happen. Like
What's
I said,
more likely? Me wrestling Kyle for 90 hours from the top position and not turning him, or Frank Chamizo beating Jordan Burroughs?
What's more likely?
Yeah.
Chamizo beating Burroughs.
Wow. I also like how you settled on 90 hours as if it's like the official like chunk of time to wrestle someone constantly to get back.
That's just like the fake scenario I've
I know, I like it. I think that should be the standard now. Like, all right, 90 hours, these two guys. Like,
Do you think Imar's 2 second-place finishes are more due to Chinzo being better or assistant coaching change at Illinois? Well,
Chinzo
no.
being better.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Mark Perry was there last year.
Exactly. So
I'll say it's more. I mean, you could look one of the biggest variables is the weight class change. At 157, he lost one time to Nolf, and he beat him twice after he lost to him. His freshman year. So I think you could. I don't think it's a coaching change. I think could be the weight, but more than anything, it's Vincenzo Joseph. It's just
it's good.
yeah.
And he's an underhook guy. Imar's an underhook guy, and Chinzo happens to wrestle phenomenally out of an underhook. If he didn't have the upper body gifts that he has, who knows what it looks like? And even still, he's 3-2 against Chinzo, but it's almost like Chinzo never. We kind of suggested this, at least, on radio after Big Tens. It's like Chinzo he wasn't playing all his cards, and maybe he was, but it just didn't seem like he was showing his full hand against.
Watch those two matches back to back, and there's stark differences between how they played out.
It's almost like they both knew, because Imar didn't do a whole lot either. It was like, man, I'm just gonna wrestle this guy in a week anyways. Like, why am I gonna go all out here? So I think it's a Chinzo thing. I think it's all about Chinzo. That's the only guy that's beaten him, right? If it was a massive coaching thing or something else, I think we would have seen Imar potentially fall to other guys, right? Mm-hmm. Which didn't happen. The only guy that's beaten him is Vincenzo Joseph and Jason Nolf in his career. Chinzo's just
got out coached.
Yeah, that's potentially true. Out game planned. Yeah.
Chinzo's final matches are like textbook how you elevate, raise your game, change your game against the best competition. This is one of the more impressive matches I've seen. Is Chinzo Imar just this last.
And how about him catching him in that claw tilt? How savvy was that? When's the last time you saw Imar turned from top?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen it. Not even folk style.
I don't see Chinzo turn a lot of people.
No.
Yeah.
It was just
Chinzo's straight up neutral guy.
This could be totally untrue, but that just seems like something where now maybe just Imar admitted he's like, I got real aggressive trying to get away, just made a mistake, but Imar rolls. That's how he gets away a lot. Was he prepared for that too? Was that something like he rolls, catch him here, get a 2 count? I don't know. With Penn State, I wouldn't put it past them being prepared for that exact.
The coaches
scenario.
at Penn State, they do a real good job.
Oh, do they?
You're a fan?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of those coaches out at Penn State.
Breaking news.
Wow. Kiss Up Radio Live here. Let's just suck up a little more.
Why are you hating, Christian?
Not hating.
All right.
Just don't like suck ups.
Who's sucking up? Why are you hating?
By the way, let me add, Christian, amazing point. You're really on fire today. Excellent.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, you're just killing it left and right.
Oh, I love
Sion,
this.
enough of your sucking up, Christian. Bang up job.
Continue,
please.
See, Spade gets
my friends.
it.
How am I sucking up?
Spade
I'm
gets
meeting
it.
some friends.
I know.
Sure.
I could like say Christian has nice hair. I'd be
Thank
lying, but I'd be complimenting him.
You're right. Yes, lying. Lying and then admitting to it. I guess it's still somehow a compliment. I think if you tell the person that you're lying, it might kind of negate the compliment.
Oh shoot! No,
I was just giving that as an example.
Okay.
Okay. It's 9:02. Kai has business to attend to. Our wonderful producer. So we have to leave. We've got to go. Our time is up. A special thank you to Sion Williams and Andrew Spey.
Follow Sion W at what's up? Yeah, whatever. Sion W, whatever you do on Twitter.
You might want to tell them how to do it and on what platform.
Twitter. Follow me on Twitter.
Follow him on Twitter. But this is a two-way street, brother.
I guess I got to start doing more tweets.
Doing more tweets. Set an alarm. Put it on your Google Calendar is probably what Spey would do.
I didn't have this on my Google Calendar, by the way. I still showed up anyway. So all you calendar haters.
And tell Slim Jim, I better start getting some free Slim Jims for y'all, man.
All right, we'll call Jim up right now. Thank you for bringing the Slim Jims for the whole class. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you to ASICS for your wonderful support of this show. And we will be back next Tuesday with Kyle Snyder, Kyle Brackey, and any other Kyles that we can find on the premises. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
See ya.